As everyone knows, the Chicago Blackhawks selected Connor Bedard with their first overall pick in the 2023 NHL Draft. But not everyone knows about Bedard's performance at the NHL Combine fitness test a few weeks before the draft. So today we're going to look at Bedard's results in those tests to find out if there are certain areas in his physical development that could be holding his game back as he makes the jump from junior hockey to the NHL. Before we get into the actual tests, let's talk about Bedard's physique, because that's the first thing you notice about an athlete in the gym. I think a lot of people were surprised, me included, how fit Bedard looks. The kid has muscle and he's lean. I thought he was your typical 18-year-old hockey player. Skinny, but exceptionally skilled. Well, now we can agree he's definitely not skinny. If you look at his upper body, he's got visible guns. For his size, for his age, he looks mature. Same goes for his legs, good quad development. It's obvious he's taking his fitness and nutrition seriously, something too many young hockey players do not. If you compare Bedard to the other Connor McDavid, which is only reasonable because he's the most hyped up prospect since number 97, Bedard is well ahead of him in terms of muscle mass at age 18. Now let's get into how he fared in the fitness test, because this is where we get to see where the gaps are, what areas can he improve off the ice to become an even better athlete. The NHL Draft Combine features a bunch of different fitness tests, some of them like height, wingspan, a balance test called Y-Balance, also the functional movement screen, which measures an athlete's mobility. We're gonna skip all those because they don't really tell us that much about his physical potential. We will cover strength, speed, agility, conditioning tests because this is a channel about hockey strength and conditioning, and I believe those will give us the real picture. Starting with pull-ups, Bedard completed 14 reps. That might not sound like a great result, but you have to factor in a couple things. First, these are strict full range of motion pull-ups, not those awful CrossFit kipping pull-ups or bent arm reps guys everywhere do. Arms fully extended in the starting position. Not only that, you're supposed to pause each rep at the bottom and at the top, which makes it much harder compared to using momentum. Requires a lot of grip, forearm, and obviously back strength. 14 reps done in this style would amount to around 20 regular non-pause reps. Not a bad result at all. Bedard came in tied second in this test. The winner completed one more, so 15 reps. Based on that, Bedard passes on upper body pulling strength. Next up, everybody's favorite lift, the bench press. From what I understand, the NHL changed this test a couple times in the last few years. It used to be they put a certain weight on the bar, I think it was 150 pounds for everyone, and you were told to do as many reps as possible with it. In 2015, they changed the resistance from 150 pounds to a percentage of your body weight, I believe 70 or 80%, because let's face it, if you're 165 pounds on draft day, you are at a serious disadvantage against someone who weighs 220. Mass moves mass, so a percentage based on your weight makes things more equal. Still, it wasn't a true test of upper body maximal strength because the weight was so light that the best athletes could do 15 plus reps. In 2018, they changed it again. Now you load 50% of your body weight on the bar, and after a short pause on the chest, you explode up. There is a device called GymAware attached to the bar that measures bar speed and how much power you can generate. Connor Bedard's result here was 6.28 watts per kilogram, average result at best. Sweden's Axel Sandin Pellikka was in his own sphere with 8.39. After the two upper body tests, we move on to the pro agility drill, which tells us about an athlete's change of direction speed. It's also known as the 5-10 5-yard shuttle. You start in the middle, sprint 5 yards to your left, brake and accelerate 10 yards the opposite way, then change directions once again for the final 5 yards, which brings you over the finish line. You do this drill once starting to the left and once starting to the right, so both directions once with a short break in between. A player named Easton Cowan set the record in each direction with 4:04 and 4:09 respectively. But what's interesting is Connor Bedard's name is nowhere to be found in the top 25. We'll come back to why I believe that is the case in just a minute after we tackle the next few lower body tests. Starting with the standing long jump, aka bro jump, aka horizontal jump. one of the better tests you can do to evaluate an athlete's potential. It's simple: the farther you jump, the more explosive you are, meaning you have a well-developed nervous system, so whether it's on or off the ice, you can explode away from your man on those crucial first few steps. Bedard posted 93 inches, which is 2.36 meters for all the non-Americans in the house. Not a great result at all. For comparison, the best broad jump was 118 inches, 3 meters, right on the money. And 3 meters is also what I have found to be an outstanding result for a hockey player on pretty much any D1 college or European pro team. You're going to be at the top with 3 meters. I don't have any data from NHL clubs, so I cannot tell you where it would place you there, but it's not a stretch to imagine that 3 meters would rank you very high at that level as well. Leading us right into the second type of jump test, the vertical jump. Every hockey player has done it before, nothing new here. At the NHL Combine, they test 3 vertical jump types. The regular vertical jump, where you're allowed to use arm swing, which allows you to jump the highest. Then there's a no arm jump, where you keep hands on the hips. The third type of jump is squat jump, where you start in a squatty position. This takes away most of the elastic assistance you get doing a regular counter movement or vertical jump, and measures more of your true concentric power output. You're given 3 attempts for each jump variation with 10 seconds of rest between. The best result from each jump will be recorded. I couldn't find any info on Bedard's performance on vertical jumps, just that he wasn't in the top 25. Nick Lardis posted the #1 result with 25.49 inches. Not only that, Lardis took home the first place in all 3 vertical jump variations. Impressive. Here's where we can really dig deeper into Bedard's possible shortcomings. What I said earlier about the standing long jump and also the vertical jump being good predictors of a player's potential holds true. I'll give you an example. A few months before the NHL draft, the CHL, Canadian Hockey League, held on-ice skating tests for their top prospects. These tests included forward and backward sprints, weave agility, transition agility, and reaction drills performed with and without the puck. 10 different tests. Guess in how many of those Connor Bedard placed in the top 5? Just 1. Not what you would expect from a generational talent. Bedard's lack of springs in the broad jump and vertical jump, as well as his mediocre change of direction speed in the pro agility drill, all ties in together with his unimpressive results in the CHL Skating Test. Someone who can jump high and far will most likely do well in sprint tests, whether that's straight ahead or involves a direction change, because your ability to generate a lot of power through jumping correlates with your ability to run or skate fast over short distances. At this moment, Bedard lacks that burst. Elite players like McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Jack Eichel, Dylan Larkin all have to create separation. Both his on-ice and off-ice test results show this. Another fact worth mentioning: the athlete who plays #1 in the CHL Skating Test, Nick Lardis, also did very well at the NHL Combine fitness test. Lardis completed 15 pull-ups, he was #1 there, posted the highest vertical jump in all 3 categories, and came in 6th in the broad jump. You can see the correlation between the jump and skating tests. Finally, we have 2 bike tests to judge your stamina. The VO2 max, which measures your aerobic fitness, and the Wingate, which evaluates your anaerobic conditioning. Players hate these. The Wingate is not so bad because it lasts only 30 seconds, although it is the longest half a minute of your life as you're pedaling with everything you got. The VO2 max test is the real killer. I've yet to meet a hockey player who looks forward to it. A long test, it assesses your stamina and also your mental fortitude, aka balls, because you will want to give up long before your body is actually done. 2 measurements are taken during the VO2 max test: how long you can pedal, so time. The best athletes surpassed 13 minutes at this year's Combine. And the second measurement tells us the maximal amount of oxygen you can consume during exercise. The higher the number, the better. It's measured in milliliters per kilogram per minute. The winner reached 66. Once again, Connor Bedard did not rank high here. Overall, out of 10 tests, he placed in the top 25 in just 1, the pull-up, where he finished tied 2nd. Some news outlets almost went as far as saying he crushed the test. They worded it so that he put up a strong showing. I don't agree. If we disregard his standout pull-up performance, he was nowhere to be found on the board on any of the other tests. This, to me, is not a sign of a well-rounded athlete. Great hockey player already at his age, but with the physical side of things, There's still a lot of work to be done, which is normal. He's only 18. He's gonna get better. That said, what concerns me the most is his lack of lower body power and speed. Keep in mind, I'm not a hockey coach. I'm not qualified to comment on his skating ability or technique, but from talking with hockey coaches and former pro players, they tell me Bedard's skating isn't up there with his shooting, passing, hockey IQ. He's not a rocket. The CHL on-ice skating tests that I mentioned earlier tell us the same story. And when I look at his jump and pro agility results, I can see why. But the good news is, lower body speed and power are trainable in the gym and on the track through lifting weights, through jumping, through sprinting. You can improve all of them a lot. I do it all the time with my athletes. One good summer is enough to see rapid improvements where guys go, wow, I feel so much faster now. Imagine how good Bedard can be if he focuses on his leg strength, speed, and power over the next 3 to 5 years. Because right now, he's average. But if he pushes those up big time, as he should, this guy can become freaky good. To recap, the too long, didn't watch version of Connor Bedard's Combine fitness test results. Visual eye assessment, pass. Upper body strength, check. Upper body power, needs improvement. Lower body power and speed definitely need to get better. Stamina also must go up. Now you know where Bedard should spend his time during off seasons going forward. Something to keep an eye on over his career, which should be a good one. I don't see this kid becoming a bust. He's too good. Before we wrap this up, I'm gonna make a prediction, and I also wanna hear yours. How many goals, assists, and points will Connor Bedard rack up in his rookie NHL season? My official prediction: 40 goals, 35 assists, 75 points. Assuming he stays healthy and plays at least 70 games, because injuries can happen. With all the hype surrounding him, anything below 70 points would be a massive disappointment. On the flip side, 100 points would elevate him to instant superstar status. Only 3 players have cracked 100 points in their rookie year as 18-year-olds. Wayne Gretzky, Dale Hawerchuk, and Sidney Crosby, who did it almost 20 years ago last time it happened. If Bedard were able to match that, it would truly be a generational feat. We'll see how well or how badly this ages a year from now. Let me know your prediction of Bedard's goals, assists, and total points in his first season. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. In the meantime, watch this video about how to train like an NHL player next.